All right, what we're going to talk about right now is what I call a puzzle versus a poster. All right, I want to share with you, I want to teach you the difference, and this is a big concept that I believe ties beautifully into flight training, between a puzzle and a poster. All right. So you may be asking yourself right now, what in the world is Yoel talking about? Why is Yoel talking with me about a puzzle or a poster, and how in any way does this tie into flight training? Well, the reason I even thought of this in the first place a few years ago is because I came across too many people who reached out to me frustrated. They were frustrated about the fact that flight training is this process, this staircase, this thing that you don't show up on day one and get a hang of it all in about an hour. They were frustrated at the length of time it takes. They were frustrated at how consistent you have to stay on the knowledge and the skill and the flights and all the good stuff. They were frustrated that flight training is not something you could go get done in a week or two and go home and be over with, be done with it. Okay, and I got thinking to myself, why are these people frustrated? Because there's many things in life that don't take 2 weeks, they take longer. What is it about these people that makes them frustrated? And after thinking about it for a while, it hit me, and I realized frustration in general is directly tied to expectations. So what's the connection to puzzles and posters? Well, let's put it this way. There's two types of student pilots that I have found so far in my life as it relates to what we're talking about. The one type of student pilot is the student pilot who shows up to training thinking and believing that flight training is like a poster. When you buy a poster, you get a complete picture. The other type of flight training student or student pilot is the pilot who understands correctly that flight training is not a poster, but a puzzle. Now, what's the difference between a poster and a puzzle? Well, the end result is the same. At the end of the day, both a poster and a puzzle that has been completed make for a beautiful big picture, okay? We understand that. But what's the difference? The difference is in the journey. The difference is how do we achieve that big, final, beautiful picture, which let's commonly right now, for the sake of this discussion, let's call that picture a private pilot, okay? The difference in these two student pilots is their expectation. The one student pilot naively walks into a flight school on day one and believes, for whatever reason, that they're going to be handed a beautiful big poster, and here you go. Now you're a private pilot. Sure, it will take a little bit of training and a little this, a little that, but they generally think in terms of poster. The other type of student pilot walks into the flight school, maybe because they watched a video like this or because they spoke with people or whatever it might be, and correctly, accurately, they understand that this process, even though at the end they're going to end up with a beautiful big picture poster which they could frame and hang up, the process of getting there is getting a bunch of small little puzzle pieces and putting them in place to the point where eventually, somewhere along that line, that process of putting those puzzle pieces together, a beautiful picture will start emerging and forming. And it's that point in training, if you're new to this or if you've been through training and you've been through this period that I'm about to talk about, this is one of the most beautiful points in the flight training journey. It's that point where enough small little pieces of knowledge, of skill, of understanding have come together to form just enough of a picture to where you start getting an idea of what the final product is going to look like. It's that point in training. That gives you a feeling that is hard to describe. All of a sudden you go, whoa, I get it. I'm starting to understand how everything connects with one another. I'm starting to understand it because listen, when you look at a puzzle in the beginning and it's all just a bunch of small little pieces, I don't care how beautiful that picture is going to end up being. Right now it's a bunch of small little pieces. And flight training, the more you understand this, the more accurate expectations you'll have and therefore less frustration. Flight training is literally like putting a puzzle together. You start out with a million small little tiny pieces of knowledge and information and weight and balance and performance and pre-flight and checklists and cruise altitude and climbs and descents and power settings and mixture and traffic patterns and different traffic pattern legs and directions and frequencies and foreflight and far aim and ACS and POH, and there's a million small little puzzle pieces that you are literally, when you show up to flight training, it's like a puzzle. You get this puzzle box with a bunch of pieces. And if you expect to open that puzzle box and see a poster, and what you see is a pile of puzzle pieces, you will be disappointed. And that is why those people who email me to this day, and I get it, I understand why people see it this way. Wrongfully so, but sadly the misinformation. That is why these people who reach out to me are frustrated in their training. Why can't I this? Why don't I that? Well, I have a secret for you. If you expect a puzzle to be a poster, when you open that box, you'll be disappointed. When you show up to flight training, you'll be disappointed because you're expecting a complete understanding of the entire thing right around the time you open the box, right around the time you start flight training, and it doesn't work that way. It takes enough small puzzle pieces put together for a sort of a picture to start forming, for you to actually go, whoa, I see it. And that takes time. It takes commitment. It takes effort. It takes money, unfortunately. It takes all these things. But eventually you'll start seeing a picture form. So I don't want to get this video going too long because I think you get the idea, you get the picture. But here's the value I want to offer you in this small little video. Again, if you watch my videos enough, I hope you're starting to realize so much of flight training has to do with right in here, mental. It's all, not only flight training, all of life is in our head. It's all in our head. If you figure this thing out in your head, you'll be happy. If you figure this thing out in your head, you'll be good. And so why not figure this thing out in your head when it comes to flight training? And if you could do it early on, if I'm catching you right now watching this video and you haven't yet begun training, even better, because you'll show up to the flight school and you'll open that flight training box and you will expect a puzzle and you'll get a puzzle and you won't be disappointed. You won't expect anything else in there. So to summarize what I'm saying here, the more you can see and view and understand that flight training is a puzzle, not a poster, the more spot on your expectations will be, the more excited you'll be to put a puzzle together. And for those people out there who are watching, for those of you out there who are watching this, who put puzzles together, just avoid this here for a little bit, just a little airspace. For those of you out there who put puzzles together, you could attest to this, you could understand. Putting a puzzle together not only could, but is a lot of fun. But it's only fun if you are into and ready and mentally prepared and showed up to put a puzzle together. It's no fun when you expect a poster. So when you walk into flight school, when you start your flight training journey, the more you can understand this, I am going to put a bunch, first of all, I'm going to learn a bunch of small little pieces of information and knowledge. And over time, as I put them together, a picture will begin forming. A picture will appear somehow, not a complete picture, but like a puzzle. At some point in the middle of the process, you'll start getting it, and you'll start telling yourself, whoa, I think I know what we're doing here. I think I understand what this whole thing's about. I think I get why my instructor was telling me this and that, and I'm starting to see it. And that is a phenomenal feeling, and we all reach that at some point in training, right? So I'll leave you with this. It's a puzzle, not a poster. It will be a poster at the end. It's a puzzle, not a poster. Write this on the mirror in your house if you're at flight school right now. It's a puzzle, not a poster. It's a puzzle, not a poster. The more you understand and come to terms with the fact that it's not a poster, it's a puzzle. And it's a puzzle, and it's your job, along with your instructor, to put these pieces together for a picture, a beautiful picture to form. And it will form, I promise you. But until it forms, it's a pile of a bunch of seemingly unrelated small little pieces of stuff. And that could be frustrating. For who? For someone who expects to show up on day one or month number one and have the picture appear. It doesn't happen that quickly. It takes work. So that's the point and purpose of this video. I hope it added a little bit of value to your journey, to your flight training experience. And if anything, I hope this causes a little less frustration in your experience, because sadly, like I said, too many people are frustrated with how long it takes and the process. It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle. It's just the name of the game. So it's a puzzle, not a poster. Write that down on your mirror. And until next time, keep kicking ass, do your thing, and enjoy the journey, because you only get to do it once. You don't get to do private pilot training twice. Keep that in mind. So keep kicking ass, be present, and understand that this time in your life, whatever it is you're training for, will be a time that you'll look back on and appreciate. So you might as well make it some memorable experience. So till next time, see you guys on the next one. Fly safe.